me start the recording. So I really appreciate everybody joining this call today. My name is Charlie Pham. Of course, you guys already know who I am. And on this call, we have Justin as well to help do some, sharing knowledge, sharing a little bit of knowledge when it comes to analytics. A lot of the things that we do is, of course, try to share as much information as possible to help everyone here who's in our program or who's not in the AMZ Seafood program. And the goal is just to create some change in your life, because a lot of people who think about starting businesses, who want to start a business, they get into a sense of fear, nervousness. They don't know where to start. And I think the best way to start is reaching out to someone who have started businesses. And when you don't know how to do something, you always get nervous. And that's just natural instinct, I believe, for anyone, for any human being. It's just we're afraid of the unknown. That's why we're afraid of the dark. And so when there's someone with a flashlight, it makes us feel safe. So we are the one that provides some of that light, hopefully for you in this path, in this journey through the woods or through this dark road. So hopefully, if you guys have any questions today, certainly just message it in the chat, or it's better you just message in the chat. That way I can just read it out loud and share it with the group. And if you guys have any questions, certainly just ask away. Okay, so this is more of an open dialogue more than a simple just one-way conversation. Okay, let me share my screen. So today we're going to be talking about, looking at competitors, top competitors, and analytics. So if you're struggling with Amazon, you're doing a lot of work and you're still struggling, that's a big problem, of course. There's niches that you want to dominate. There's competitors in those niches that seems to be always successful. And today we want to help you with some tools, give you some tools to look at, things to focus on so that it can help you take your business to the next level. All right. Now, why is it important to look at top sellers and review the data that they have, analyzing their data, look at some of the factors that they are, that they have, some of the advantages that they have, and why even bother to do that, right? That's pretty much the concern here. So let me just skip to this area. So when you look at someone who is a top seller on Amazon, especially in a specific niche, there's so many niches on Amazon. You can go from like a shoe category all the way down to like slippers, right? There's many variations of categories, and within that niche, there's going to be sellers that will perform better than others. And by researching, by studying them, using tools to study them, you'll get valuable insight, market trends, some strategy that they're using. And that's a great way to learn from their success and their failures. And of course, taking some of that strategies and tactics that they're using and applying into your own business. And that's one way to stay competitive. Of course, if we're doing the same thing as everybody else, we won't be as competitive long-term, but there's probably something that we're not doing, right? As a beginner, there's some things that you're not doing all the time. And so you always want to stay ahead by researching your competition. And your top sellers on Amazon going to understand, they will be understanding the customer needs way better than you, because you guys are a beginner. And so using their data, their way of marketing, the way they write their messaging, the way they write their offer, their product offer, and how they're acquiring their customer will help you also list your product a certain way or build out your listing a certain way. And of course, understanding their pricing strategy, how they start on their launch versus how they price long-term will give you a better pricing strategy at the beginning as well. And then following that same pattern along the way, along with like the type of discount that they're doing. Okay, yeah, hello, more people join. All right. Usually people join a little late, we're Asian, so we tend to show up like 15 minutes later than usual. But yes, so we mainly focus on, focusing on studying the top seller, some of the things that they're doing, and how they're gathering reviews. So understanding the tactic, the strategies, and how they're utilizing their own research tool, so that we don't have to do a lot of the research. Of course, just by studying them, it help us shortcut a lot of the research that we need to do ourselves. Okay. So of course, when you study your competitor, your top seller in your category, your niche, you'll be able to identify some of the weaknesses in your offering, what gaps you have in your product as well. You have the opportunity to see what other potential product offering you can create, improving your existing product benefits, differentiating yourself from the competitor by understanding what value proposition that they offer, and of course, developing your own unique selling proposition as you study them. Because if you're not studying anybody, if you're not studying your competition, how do you know how to do something better, right? Because a lot of the products today that we see usually isn't like some new invention or some new idea. Is really a repurpose of an existing product. Somebody just sat there and thought about it and was like, okay, this guy is doing it this way, this person is doing it this way. Well, what can I do a little differently? And usually the customer will tell you that. Now, of course, everybody know what the niche is. I don't want to go into detail of what a niche is. A niche is a specific segment of a larger category. An example would be in the keywords, dog toys. And of course, you can go into deeper dog toys, right? Dog pink chew toy and silicone pink chew dog toys. I mean, that category can keep going deeper and deeper. And so you want to go deep into a niche before you start trying to take over a category, because you don't have the funds to rank for that broad keyword like dog toys. A seller that's been in business for several years, who have spent a lot of money on PPC as well as external marketing, will be able to capture that broad keyword like dog toys and rank for that keyword. Of course, you can try to rank it too, but it will cost you a lot of money. And of course, doing keyword research, searching for the top keywords, is how you find top sellers, because some of the top sellers will be ranking for those big keywords, the broad keywords. And those keywords will be the high volume keywords that people search for. It's very short, 2 words usually. It could be 1 word sometime. Like shoe. If somebody's ranking for the word shoe, you know that's a top seller. Because if they're on the first page, or case, or cell phone, if you know that Apple is going to be ranking for the cell phone category, right? Because they capture the market on that, and everybody search for Apple iPhone, and all they need to do is type in cell phone and the Apple iPhone will show up. And so for you to compete against that, it's going to be very hard. But by finding out who the top seller is, you study that top seller, which can help you understand what you can do better on your own listing, because they're competing for that top position every single day. Now, of course, a few other things you have to look for is making sure you check their product review. High number of product reviews with 5 stars, 5.5 stars or above. Those sellers usually maintain their product review very, very tightly. So they will be watching to ensure that they don't get too many negatives. And of course, when you get too many negatives, Amazon will notify you. That means their product is not good quality. So a seller who has high number of product reviews and above 4.5 stars rating means they have good quality products. And of course, you want to buy that sample sometime and see what they're doing differently, or maybe finding out who the supplier is for that specific product. And of course, high sales volume within the niche will determine if this is a top seller, top Amazon seller, and of course, looking up seller ratings, right? Their reputation for their customer service, their seller feedback. If they're a big seller, they usually have high seller feedback with very good ratings. And so that means they're very responsive. They have someone who's watching their email, their customer service email on a constant basis, on a daily basis, maybe on weekends as well. And of course, you can hire a virtual assistant for this. Most virtual assistants can probably just handle most of the Amazon complaints fairly easily. And a lot of the time, because it's an Amazon process, you don't have to worry too much about the type of customer service that you need to handle, because Amazon handles most of it. And of course, just looking, when you're looking for top Amazon sellers, look over their product offering, their pricing strategy, and their customer engagement techniques. Why do we look at product offering? Because they usually offer a wide range of products that's relevant to a specific niche. So they have already established a diversified product category. They have product upsell that's related to their niche. They expand into a product that's congruent with their brand represent. And so you can see how they're expanding their product line, and potentially you can do the same within your own product line. And it gives you a lot of ideas. And to find top sellers and a product that's moving very fast on Amazon, there's an Amazon bestseller list. It's a mover and shaker list, and you can find this. It's pretty simple. It's actually, you just go to Amazon. And it's a very helpful list because it'll tell you what's trending, right? Let's see if I can. So usually I just search that. Let's say home and kitchen is the category that you're looking in. And it will tell you what is the #1 selling product in home and kitchen. And this page right here will list all the category. So if you go to cell phone accessories, it'll tell you what's moving up really fast. And this mover and shaker list right here actually get refreshed every 24 hours. So you see trend in products, what's moving. Let's say in kitchen and dining, if you're in that category, you see what product is actually moving up fairly quickly on sales rank. And this gives you an opportunity to see what's trending, what type of product is getting popular. Potentially, if you develop a way to launch product very quickly. So let's say you've been in the business for a certain amount of years and you understand how to source, launch, you have a team in place. This will be the perfect opportunity for you to go in here into this list, browse, and see what could be a potential for you, and you'll go in and launch it fairly quickly. It might take you a month to 3 weeks to launch a product through this list. And this is a great way for you to build something up like this right here. Like for some reason, it's going up in rank. It's previously unranked and it's ranked #2, but it's back and body hurts. And it's only 49 review, but it's on this list. So that means this thing is moving up in ranking. It's a funny coffee mug, obviously. I would not jump into a coffee mug category, but it's a very entertaining coffee mug. And so this list is actually very helpful for you to review certain trends and which product you see that's moving up very quickly. Okay. And of course, using keyword research tool to find popular search term in your niche, and using all this information help improve your own existing product, the reviews, and developing additional new product line for your own business. And of course, here's the list. I just screenshot that. Okay. Also, for looking at strong Amazon sellers, you want to pay attention to their pricing strategies. Some top Amazon seller will be very competitive in pricing, and they'll use certain discount strategies on their initial launch, like flash sales. There's also like Amazon deals, and these discounts you can pay for through your Amazon Seller Central dashboard. You can actually apply for these promotions. And of course, you're going to be discounting your product at the beginning so that you launch and you get that little tag that says Amazon deals. So those tags you can offer. And also there's like Black Friday sales, Cyber Monday sales. You can apply for all of those options so that during that time frame when you launch your product, you can boost your sales up quickly. And of course, we always focus on breaking even and not losing money on our promotion. So make sure you're checking your price accordingly. Okay. And of course, there's pricing tools out there that will notify you if your competitor, your top seller in your same niche is dropping price aggressively, or moving up in price, or they're running some type of discount, or they're running out of stock. So there's tools out there for that, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. And of course, one of the last things you want to pay attention to is how your top sellers are engaging their customers, how they're responding to their customers' inquiries, based on their feedback. Also, how they're handling their social media presence, because some sellers, they don't have any social media presence. They don't talk to their customers at all. There's no way to communicate directly to their customers. Their customer will search for them on TikTok, Instagram, maybe on Facebook if they have a Facebook page, or through their website. And so if you don't have any presence, I do recommend creating just a social media account just in case a customer search for your product or your brand, or tag you when they post something, so that, let's say you engage with them, you find out some feedback about the product that you have. Maybe the customer really like your product. They might become, let's say, a brand ambassador. So pay attention to what your competitors are doing. So how I look at my competitors, I usually go on TikTok, I do hashtag XYZ brand, and I see if they're running marketing to it. And for me, if I see a competitor launching a new product and they're going very heavy on influencer marketing, that means they're driving traffic to that specific product that, there was no market before. So when you start seeing influencer promoting a specific product on TikTok or on Instagram or on YouTube, that's a sign that, okay, this is potentially a new market, a new product that's about to be, that's being built out. And really a product, like, for example, I noticed that like a year ago, there was this trend on TikTok. It was like this green powder. And there was a trend. Everybody was drinking this green powder, and the green powder was supposed to make you younger, healthier. And the truth is, you just weren't eating enough greens, so you were substituting with this green powder. And everybody was just making videos of it because it was trending, and everybody had a tag back to this listing on Amazon, to this category. So a lot of the influencer, they get affiliate fees from Amazon, like 8%, 10%, 12%, depending on their category. So it's pretty much a type of affiliate marketing. But because it's a trend, everybody was doing it. All the girls were posting videos about drinking and how it's making them healthier. But the truth is, somebody was paying them to promote this product, and eventually became a trend. And I do not recommend following trend, but it gives you an idea that, hey, this market potentially has growth. And if you catch it at the beginning stage, you can make some money out of it. And some market has the opportunity to be stable, because let's say, for example, if it's a kitchen product, and let's just talk about the generic garlic press. Everybody has a garlic press at home, but nobody know about the garlic press until somebody tell you about it. And so if an influencer promote it and share with you that, hey, this garlic press is pretty good, you don't have to crush it with a knife anymore. I remember when I still crush it with my knife. I do the old school way, so I crush it with my knife and then I peel it. But with the garlic press, you just peel it and you throw it in there, and you press it, and it crushes the garlic for you. So it's actually a pretty useful product, but it's very cheap, to buy. So I wouldn't get into selling it, but that product is a fairly consistent product. It's just, it doesn't go up and down very much. It's just the same product, and there's not a lot of defect because it's non-electronic product. So it's a very stable product because everybody will buy it. Everybody who has a kitchen will buy it in America. And so when you pay attention to those products, sometimes you catch, when you're paying attention to your top seller or your competitors' social media presence, you will see how they're marketing, and sometimes you might catch an early stage of them launching a market that you haven't noticed before. And it's a great way for you to find new products, new market, new niches that you can get in on the early traffic. Because when a customer, so a lot of the customers, they don't actually go to the actual product landing page. They will research it. So what they would do is they will search it on TikTok, they will search it on Google, and they will search it on YouTube. And so the traffic will go into that niche category. And so if you have a listing in that niche category, now you get some of that traffic. And for us, we always send direct link to our listing. But to be honest, like when you have like 50 million views on a video, 100 million views on a video, like a lot of that traffic, people just gonna search for your brand or that brand or just the keyword for that product on its own. And so your listing is gonna show up if you rank for that keyword. And it's very interesting. So I do recommend following your top seller and your top competitors' social media presence, just to see what type of marketing that they're doing, so that you can then come back and maybe replicate some of that strategies within your own listing, your own business. So some of the tools that we use, of course, Jungle Scout and Helium 10. So everybody here is very familiar with Helium 10 and Jungle Scout, so I'm not going to talk very much about those two. I do believe Jungle Scout is a little bit more affordable, but we also have a discount for Helium 10. So just let us know, and if you want to sign up for Helium 10, we'll send you the discount code. Okay. So the next tool would be Keepa. And this tool is mainly for pricing and sales data. And what it does is, of course, it shows you the same price history using the Chrome extension, but the only difference is that it'll notify you when price drop, stock is out or back in stock, and changes to products. So you can use this to target certain competitors or top sellers, see what they're doing. And of course, going back to the Amazon bestseller and mover list, that list is constantly updated hourly. You'll see buying trends, and of course, you see the biggest gainer in the last 24 hours, and it's a great way to find new product ideas. And the last tool that I do recommend everyone to get on is Sellerboard. We use Sellerboard as well because it's a great analytic tool to see insight in your business. It tracks sales, it tracks your profit, inventory management, PPC spend, and so it helps you make data-driven decision to grow your business instead of just making decision randomly, right? And it's pretty cost-effective, $15 a month to start, and it's fairly user-friendly. It takes a little bit of time to figure out if you're not like tech savvy or anything, but it is fairly user-friendly. Just follow the instruction. They have resources to help you, use their tool. Now, why is it important to know the numbers in your business? Well, the reason why is because if you don't know that you're making money or not making money at all, then you won't know when you're losing money, right? So understanding how much money you're actually making off a product, how much your product cost is, and automating that process will help you see the business a lot easier instead of having to crunch numbers every single day. You have something like Sellerboard, which gives you a dashboard of profit and loss from today, yesterday, 30 days, in a month. And it's more accurate data than the Amazon seller dashboard, because this dashboard also takes into consideration your cost of goods, administrative costs, if you input those information, and any other costs as well, to give you a general accurate data of where your business stands when it comes to the profits that you're making or the profit that you're not making, and how much you're making off your PPC spend and how much you're not making off of PPC spend. So these things are very important, because the only two things that we're responsible for right now is creating an optimized listing, finding good quality product from our manufacturer, and then selling the product, right, and marketing it. And so Amazon handle a lot of the fulfillment end of the business and customer service. We focus on managing our inventory, marketing the product, and making sure that our products sell by finding the right product and finding quality suppliers. And so having this important data all the time, so that when we make decisions about our business, where to invest our money, like, should I buy more inventory? I'm about to run out. Or should I invest more in PPC because the PPC is working and it doesn't cost me a lot right now? I'm not spending like 100% or 200% ad spend, and there's a lot of room for me to grow just by spending a little bit more on PPC. If I can see that data all together, it makes it easier for me to make decisions. So I do recommend going with Sellerboard if anyone haven't used it yet. Okay. Now, of course, improving your product visibility is also an important part of ensuring that your Amazon listing is selling well, focusing on the targeted keywords that you never thought to test. And that's by researching with the top sellers, see what they're targeting. And there's probably keywords that they're using that you don't know, and adding that keyword to your backend because you probably missed those keywords. And of course, also like improving your videos and product images compared to your competitors or your top sellers, how they're doing it. And of course, offering product improvement against your competitors. Like there's things that they're doing and their customer probably don't like and they haven't resolved it yet. And this gives you an opportunity to come in and resolve that. And of course, replicating a lot of their marketing or advertising campaign that they're doing with their influencer or their email marketing potentially. If they're a very big seller, they will have like a website. And so they'll be emailing marketing over there and see how they're targeting their customers and how they're gathering more customers through their marketing. And of course, at the end, optimizing your product listing. You don't ever want to stop reviewing your listing. I recommend once per week. You can do it more often as possible, but do side-by-side comparison with the top sellers, compare yours versus them, and always ask yourself, where can you look for improvement on your own listing? Because, in this business, we always want to improve one thing at a time, one little thing at a time, maybe a keyword improvement, maybe a description improvement, maybe product image improvement, product video, maybe a better social video. So here's a study that says 64% of customer buys product after watching branded social videos. And social videos are videos made by influencers or customers, something that doesn't look very professional, look very organic, look like somebody sitting at home made it. So it looks more fun and engaging. And using those kind of videos from your competitors and trying to find somebody else who can duplicate that video style for you will be very helpful because they already did a lot of the work. They spent the money to do the marketing. All you have to do now is take what they already done and just duplicate it and replicate that. And comparing your A+ listing versus them, see what's working for them and how can you apply that to your own listing or what you can do differently into your A+ listing. And of course, maybe there's some benefit that they're not offering that you can offer as well. So that's why it's important to always look for your top sellers in your category and following the top sellers tactics and strategies and some of the marketing methods that they're using and some of the tactics that they're using to market their listing and their product, and understanding how they're doing it, why they're doing it, and then applying it into your own business. And that's how you learn to improve. Because sometimes we don't know because we just didn't know because we haven't done the test for that kind of work. Because sometimes it costs money or we don't have enough inventory to do that kind of test. And this is a great way for you to, adapt something that somebody else already spent money to test, because testing costs a lot of money. That's the truth. Like when you're testing Facebook ads or like TikTok ads, sometimes you don't make any money. You could be losing like several $1,000s a month and not know if you're making money or not. And so when somebody else does the test for you, use that information that they already created. It's public knowledge. And so duplicate it and apply it to your business. Okay. Lastly, definitely there's a few tools that you can use for review. Reviewing like review trends of let's say a seller. There's Review Meta, FakeSpot, Review Insight, and some of these tools will help you review the trend in reviews. What are some of the common complaints or compliments that they're leaving for the product? Using that will help you understand, okay, how can I improve the product, or how is the product not, how can it be better, and use that to apply to my own business. And of course, analyzing star ratings to identify customer satisfaction trend. And there's, of course, durability issues that could come up, or any other rating issues that, is brought up when it comes to, product features, product benefits. And of course, when you see those things, it helps you improve your own product as well. All right, that's it on looking at seller analytics and looking at your top sellers in your niche. Does anyone have any questions for today's?
I have a question.
Yeah, Ben, hey, how's it going? You want to turn on your camera?
Oh, sure. Howdy.
Hey.
Hey. So
today.
my question is more around branding, because I haven't seen much, much info about it. But how important is branding to your overall product or the listing?
Oh, so I believe is very important. So here's a story. So I started my business in 2009, focusing on one category, cell phone cases. And the difference between what we were doing versus a friend of ours, he lives in California. He started a business earlier than we did, 2005. And the difference between us is that we focus on building a single product brand. Like we focus on this one brand. It's called Ringke. It's a Korean case. So we found this manufacturing in Korea. We brought it from Korea over to US, and they just made cases for phones. And we spent the entire time just focusing on that one category. And we built the branding through how we communicate on our website. Like we communicated like what our mission was, the quality of our product. Why is it quality? Because we were detailed. We make sure we use the highest quality material. So we said a lot of things to ensure that this product is quality. And also we stuck within the category. We didn't expand to a whole bunch of different ones. The other guy, he did it differently than us. He just went straight generic. So he had a very big business, of course. He sold accessories, he sold car parts, he sold a whole bunch of random things, blanket, pillows, whatever was selling, he sold. And eventually our business kept growing. His business started decreasing because as Amazon, so he wasn't selling on Amazon, he sold off Amazon. And so when you're selling off Amazon, you handle a lot of your own fulfillment, but the customer, they started noticing that his product was just Chinese generic, and there was a lot of negative perception when it's unbranded. People didn't trust the product because they didn't have a brand name. They didn't know if he was going to give a warranty. And so over time, his business started decreasing, and eventually he shifted into third-party fulfillment because it was better for him. He had a big warehouse. And so he just started doing fulfillment for customers and sellers. And for us, what we realized was as we continue to just focus on building our brand awareness, and how we did that was just through influencer marketing. We also went into forums and subreddit. And from there, we use like moderators and people who have a lot of authority. So how you build brand is you create credibility through authority. And how you get authority? You find somebody who has authority and you pay for their authority. You're like, hey, I'll pay you $200 to tell everybody that this is a good product. And that's really how we built a brand. And you have to consistently do this. And also for a brand, let's say your brand is XYZ brand, then if you just say one day you stop and you change the name, well, every single time a customer so in the past, let's say a year that you've been invested in this brand, the customer who bought your brand, they know you now, XYZ brand. Now you change the brand, they're gonna be like, where's the XYZ brand, right? And so branding comes from good customer service, a good reason, a good mission, I guess, a good story, a good mission, a good identity of what the brand represents, and then just customer goodwill. Like if people like your product, they'll say good things about you. If people, care about what you do, like there's Tom's Shoes, they did a really good job of that, where you buy a shoe and then they took a shoe and they give it to a kid in like Guatemala or something. And it's like, okay, I believe that. I like that. I'm gonna buy their shoes because you're giving a shoe to a homeless kid. I support that. And so now your brand can be shared to people. They will say good things, and then they'll draw more friends towards this brand versus someone who's selling, let's say, some knockoff Chinese product. It's like, oh, am I gonna get a warranty? So a person so if you think about it, like someone who is unbranded is kind of like a stranger, right? They sell you something and then they run away. But a brand stands for warranty, customer service, guarantees, a mission, a story, an identity, quality. That's what a brand stands for. So when you craft your message of what your brand is, there gotta be some story or some mission, and then you gotta say like some wording about the quality of your product. Honestly, you can make this up. It is, it might not be true right now.
Well, now, as I'm going through this process, I'm thinking of a brand, but it's a big deal. Hearing about all this, like it needs to have a story, it needs to have a mission, just it needs to represent something and show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it could just be representing what you believe in, right?
Mhm.
Like if you say this is I want to sell quality product, that's your mission. So now you can apply it to any product really. I want to sell a product that solves a problem. Technically, any product that you sell solves a problem, but you mean it, you believe in it. And so
Mhm.
when you write that story, you can say that, we're a small US company that sell products that solves problem. Now people are like, oh, okay, I believe this. I agree with this. And so also like when you have social media presence, when you reach out to influencer and you have an interesting product, I keep bringing up Joe, but Joe's product apparently every single influencer like, and his product blew up in like a few days and he sold out because he just found the right influencer that, sells product really well. He just went viral because somebody enjoyed the product, believed what he was selling and thought it was very useful. And they just took it and just ran with it. And he sold out because the influencer liked his product and his branding. And so when you're building your own brand, it's important that you have a good message behind the product that you're selling. It's just a lot of the Chinese company, the big ones anyway, they hire companies to do this for them because they can't come up with it themselves. The only thing that they have is pricing authority. That's all they do. They cut price. And that's the only strategy they got because that's how it is in China anyway. They have tons of labor, cheap labor. And so the only thing you can compete with is price, right? They don't speak English and it's not an American market, so it's hard to compete. So it's like, okay, let's just cut price. We'll just not eat for a while. Oh, there's a bunch of people that wanted to join. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Yeah. But yeah, so hopefully this is helpful. So just focus on a good message. Craft a good message to go with your product and your brand and what you represent. It'll be helpful when it comes to selling the product. Now you have something you're standing for, right? Not just like some knockoff brand. It'll separate you a little bit compared to somebody else.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want. I want that separation. And
Yeah, and I think a lot of people downgrade the importance of copywriting or just the language that you use to describe your business, your brand, your personality on the internet, because how else do you think these customers will understand what your product represent? They're going to read about it. They're going to read the listing. My wife reads every single listing and I'm like, you really read it? Just look at the pictures, I
or
don't. I
videos.
just look at, yeah, or watch the videos. You read this stuff. But I'm like, oh, it's pretty helpful, so I'm like, it's pretty helpful. That's why people read it, So to me, it saves me a lot of time in not reading. But anyway, that's why it's important, the description, the A+ listing, the things you write, people read. And so that's what separates you a little bit. First, it's like price, benefit, and then, okay, is this a US company? Is this a Chinese company? Because we talk about Chinese company because that's who our competitor is right now. It's mainly the Chinese competitor, the manufacturer that goes straight into Amazon. That's our competitor. And sometimes they don't care. They just post it up and that's it. They're like, hey, cut the price, post it up and cut the price. But then when you say things like, oh, we money back guaranteed for 60 days, like, oh, okay, I'm okay with that. But a lot of people don't understand that Amazon already does that. You can go on Amazon 60 days after buying the product and request a return. It's just they put a barrier in place. And a lot of people think that the barrier is very hard, but it's not. Just go on there, message the agent, and you can return anything. It could be 180 days, it could be a year, and Amazon will probably let you return it. Just have a complaint because all of their focus is customer service. So when you say 100% money back guaranteed, 60-day money back guaranteed, like, okay, this brand cares about the customer, so they want their customer to be happy. But sometimes 60-day pass, you might forget about the whole thing. They might forget, so they might not even return the product. But that's just my suggestion. So there's a lot of things you can do when it comes to branding, of course, with social media, marketing, social presence, things like that. There's a lot of things you can do.
Thanks for that.
Yeah. Anyone else? have any questions today? Justin, did you want to say anything? Regarding
Yes,
that?
so I would say everyone here, if you have any questions, feel free to ask Charlie because he has way more experience than I am. And also this is it's like an opportunity because we may not be conducting these sections anymore soon because we do have a lot of work and like project going on as we're approaching the end of the year and we have to prepare for our sales as well. So feel free to use this opportunity to ask any question. So I would love to have everyone here ask one question before we leave for today, okay? So,
Yeah.
Susan, any question that you have?
No, I'm just curious, after your, I guess, successful sale of your first, Amazon business, have you failed launching any product after that? Or not necessarily failed, but
Yes,
didn't do
yeah,
well?
no, definitely, like, failing is a part of the business because Amazon is changing all the time, so yes, there's time that we do fail. And there's time, but the thing is, like, there are times when we're more successful than fail, right? You won't learn anything if you keep winning all the time. That's just the nature of it, and the thing is, you can't win all the time without failing, you have to fail, so that's why we go to, that's why I still go to those e-com events. We sign up for mastermind, so because you guys are in this mastermind, we want to make sure that everyone will understand and get the best knowledge as possible, updated knowledge, and also for us to do that, we have to also talk to people who are also doing those things too as well. Because masterminds are very important, is because we're sharing knowledge with each other. And this higher level sellers out there than I am. I mean, there's guys that are just specifically focused on buying Amazon brands. So they don't even launch brands anymore. That's on another level. They'll buy a brand that does like, $5 to $10 million on one listing, and they'll just buy that. They'll give them cash for that. And then they'll launch that brand. They'll relaunch that same product under the same listing with improvement, and they make better margins. So they don't have to worry about finding new products or new research on new products and things like that. So yes, we do fail. It's just that we have more opportunities to fail sooner and then relaunch quicker. That's the only difference, because we can repeat the process over and over at a faster rate because we have people, we have a team, we have designers, we have copywriters, so everything that you are using at this moment. So let's say in the future, when you need help, when you launch your product, you have access to the people that we use. So they already know our process. So for us, finding a product is very simple. It's just finding the right product, right? So we can repeat the process very quickly because we understand how to do it. And it's important that you have to have a team. You have to build out a team that can do a lot of that for you. And eventually you probably won't be the one doing the product research anymore. You'll probably be the one that just oversee the operation, right? And so it's a learning process no matter what. That's how life is. So you will fail a little bit as you move forward, but failure is a part of success. And if you don't learn from the failure, then you're just going to keep making the same failures. So I failed, of course. I also started other businesses that I failed. I mean, I started a Wingstop franchise that I failed. And what it taught me was I don't want to do restaurants. So, nobody told me that. Nobody told me that I shouldn't go do a restaurant, but I did it anyway. And so that it's just a lesson for me. It's a seminar. We all have seminar. It doesn't matter how good you are. If you think that you're the best and you never fail ever, you will fall very hard. But you go into everything knowing that, hey, there's going to be some failures, and learn from that, and then just keep taking the next step forward, because that's how I learn. Is I try something, it doesn't work, I spend money over here. I've done some TikTok ads over here. I'm like, oh, that didn't work. We just spent like 10K, didn't make any money. Like you just burn it and you're like, oh shoot, that sucks. But now you learn, like, okay, this doesn't work for this market. Or you do something else over here and it works. You're like, okay, let's go all in on that. And so that's why we always say, okay, go into influencer marketing, because man, we've seen that working right now. And it always has been working for us. And it worked for me for a very long time. We didn't spend any money on Amazon PPC. We just spent money on influencer marketing. Because, one influencer could go viral randomly and we'll just like shoot up and you're like, oh man, sometimes we get lucky, but then when you do it on a massive scale, when you have like hundreds of people posting for you, one of those people are gonna go viral. And so that's kind of like our mindset is like, just keep trying. There will be things that doesn't work and there will be things that work. And so that's why you let us try it. We make the mistakes and then we'll tell you like, don't do that. That's kind of the reasoning behind it, right? That's why you guys joined this program, so that we made the mistake so that you don't have to, right? But the truth is, sometimes, Susan, if you don't make the mistakes either, then you won't learn. So, that's just the truth. That's the truth of life right there.
Yeah, thanks for that. And so I'm just curious, with the less successful launches, would you say that has been more of like picking the wrong product or marketing?
Yeah, that's I think the marketing for us is solid. It is a straightforward marketing plan, PPC, influencer marketing, then external marketing through Facebook ads, email marketing, then promoting through our community, existing community. Those are very straightforward. Those are all the things we'll always do. Finding, like, I think one of the mistakes that we would make is like jumping into a product category too quickly, right? Without doing enough research. It's like you see a shiny object and you're like, oh man, this is great. This is going to be the next big thing. But not looking at the data closely, not looking at the search volume, not looking at the competition closely. Those are the mistakes that I've made in the past, which is like just seeing too many shiny objects, not knowing a lot of it, and then just jumping in, right? I remember we were selling beauty products, and we had a decent we had this one specific niche that we were in, but we decided to shift the niche. It's within the beauty category, but it's a different niche. But the problem is we invested a lot of our research into this niche already. Everybody was familiar with this niche. So we should have just expanded within that niche, right? It's the same thing as if you're selling slippers and all you did was slippers, and everybody in your team know what slippers are. They know how to research for slippers. They know the different kind of slippers. They know the hundreds variations of slippers. But then you tell them, hey, I want to sell high heels. And now everybody had to learn how to sell high heels. And so that's where you make mistakes, is that you don't spend enough time to research a new category. And that I think we made a lot of that mistake, because sometimes you get greedy and shiny object syndrome, and then you jump into a new product too quickly instead of spending time to do the proper research.
That was helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Hey, Charlie.
Hey, Bruce, you want to turn on your camera real quick?
What happened?
You got a nice background, brother. What is that?
Question. How much should you spend on a products to test it out? And also, like, how do you know like which is the right influencers to hire? Like, do you look at their analytics to see what's their target? Followers. Is it in the United States or something like that? Is that something that you ask them to show you before you hire them?
So I can answer the influencer part fairly easily. Yes, we ask to make sure that they show us their demographic. So usually a lot of influencers will have the demographic settings on their device, whatever social media platform they have. So they have that information. So of course it's all US based, because we're targeting the US. If you're in Germany or in Spain or in Italy, then of course you want to be targeting that. The first part of your question was, how much should you spend the tests? Are you asking how much inventory you should buy, or
Yes.
how much?
That's correct. How much you should buy? Because you should, if you hit like a home run and stuff, and then you run out of stocks, that could hurt your listing, correct?
Oh yeah, and we're seeing a lot of that right now. But honestly, for us, always 500 units is the recommended start, because even though you run out, you can just close the listing and your sales still maintain that same record. And so when you reopen it, it's still gonna be there and you're starting it up again. And of course, you have the same influencers to relaunch the marketing campaign, and then you get your ranking up again. But you know, that's where the challenge is, to be able to balance out the launch. But to me, to be safe, I would just start selling 500 units to test. I wouldn't go in like 1,000 units or 10,000 units, because like, how confident are you, right? Like it really depends on how confident you are at your marketing strategy. Like I'm confident in the marketing strategy that we have, so we can go in at 1,000 units or 5,000 units at a time, because we're confident in how we're going to sell the product. If you're not confident in your marketing strategy, then it's always at 500 units. So you have to, that's why your research is very important. Your competition, you need to know your competition, how many competitors are there, how strong they are. Like, are they doing social media marketing as well? Or are they just selling on Amazon as is? And how much are they spending on PPC keywords? So that will tell you a lot if you want to risk, you know, because essentially you're mitigating risk based on the research that you do, using all the analytic tools like Helium 10 to see like, okay, so this has potential to make me $100,000 a month, but I have 1,000 competitors selling the same thing. Like, do you really want to risk that? Because for you to sell 1,000 units, you're going to have to drive a lot of money to compete against all those competitors, right? But if it's only like, if you're at the beginning of the pack, sure, there's like 10 competitors, then I mean, that's an opportunity for you, but you have to know how quickly you can launch. If you're a beginner, Bruce, and you're just starting off, how much time does it normally take for you to launch a product, right? From finding the product to getting it into the state, is it less than a month, you know, or is it a month time frame? From, you know, designing and everything, like, because it will take about a month and a half actually, because if you have your team in place and you can design and edit and create a listing within like 2 weeks and send the packaging over to China and find a supplier quickly, then you can probably launch it in a week and a half, a month and a half, I mean. And from there, you can just use all the marketing strategies that we have, and you can sell this product with confidence. But if you know that, hey, it's going to take you at least 2-3 months to get a product into the States, then start with 500 units so that you can learn how to get that process, you know, more efficient, right? Does that make sense? You have to be efficient first before you can start taking higher risk.
Okay.
So for us, we're efficient. We know what we need to do. We know the process. We do that same process over and over. And so that's why we're able to say, hey, we can launch with 1,000 units. We can launch with 5,000 units. Next order, 5,000. This order, 1,000. Let's put in another order for 5,000 units, because we know that these are the marketing strategies that we're going to implement. But for someone who's a beginner, I do not recommend like launching with 1,000 units, because your system and your processes are not in place yet. You're still not efficient, and you're still not, I guess you're just not as fast to execute, right? Because it's a new business. It takes time to develop skills. That's the truth of it. Like, skills takes time to develop. It's not the Matrix where you can just download a Kung Fu skill and then you become a Kung Fu master. That would be nice. Maybe one day that will happen. You know, maybe one day we can download skills. But right now we have to put in the time and the work, and it takes time to develop that skills. And so when you get to a level where you know the steps by heart, you know how to product research like efficiently like a master, and then you just know what you're looking for, then man, now you can go in and with extreme confidence, right? That's just how it is. Once you become confident at your skills, then you can launch more aggressively. Hopefully that helps, Bruce.
Yeah, it helps. And another question is, let's say if you find like a product and not a lot of people are listening, but one of them, one of the top sellers, Amazon. So is it like wise to get in and compete against Amazon?
Never wise to compete with Amazon.
So even when you spend money, it doesn't even matter, right?
Well, yeah, you can't outcompete Amazon. Amazon basic brand, things like that. I wouldn't recommend competing with Amazon. it's really tough to win against them because they're Amazon. They're selling a generic product that's branded Amazon. You can't compete against them, so I don't recommend being in a category. That means that category is saturated. That's why Amazon is in there. It's a saturated category already. If that makes sense. It's like Amazon basic socks. Like you don't want to go into Amazon basic socks. You have to have something unique about the socks to get into Amazon socks, right? To get into the category of socks. It has to do something special. It has to have like maybe some new wicking technology or some drying technology, or it's just super comfortable in some way or some form. New recycled material. I don't know, but I wouldn't recommend going against Amazon. That's just my point of view.
I guess that's one of the reasons why not a lot of sellers are selling that products, because Amazon is actually selling it. So not
Mhm.
people are like
It's
saving
hard to,
it.
yeah, it's very hard to compete with Amazon. They own, that's their platform. So they have all your data and their data. And they squeeze their manufacturer more aggressively than you can. Mhm. So yeah, stay away from those. If you see Amazon in that category, just stay away from that.
Right.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
Cool. Cool. Anyone else? Any questions for tonight before we drop off? We are past the hour. All right.
Jeff, any question, Daniel? Please turn on your camera if you want to ask a question.
Hey, Daniel.
Hi. You mentioned, don't want to compete with Amazon. How do you hedge your risk? Because Amazon is known to, take products that are not sold by them, that sells well, and then put out that same product on their own.
Yeah, they do that. Yes, of course, Amazon does do that.
Mhm.
And it really depends on the niche that you're in. If it's a very broad niche, usually Amazon, you usually jump into those big broad niche. That's why you don't see them in very niche products, because the volume is not big enough for them. And they focus on the $1 billion number here. They're not going to focus on like $1 million in revenue niche, right? So that's why we have that opportunity to go in and take that niche over and take a part of that market share, because Amazon's not going to care about that. So that's something you don't have to worry about. That's why we focus on niches first, building a brand within the niche and then expanding outside of Amazon to build your brand outside of Amazon. That's the roadmap. You make consistent revenue inside a niche, expand the product line, 1 or 2 product line, and then you slowly extract the data outside to, let's say, one of your website that you built off of WordPress or Shopify or whatever platform you want to build it on. And then we take that data over to that website, and then we start marketing that website as well. And now you have 2 ways to be less reliant on just Amazon. You can have a website as well. So now you're developing sales skills on a website. That's another different skill that's that needs to be developed. But hey, this is learning new things, so it's fun to learn new skills, new ways to sell, because at the end of the day, it's just selling skills,
Right.
if you know how to sell stuff online, you can open up any business and sell products, sell services, whatever it may be, right? So
Got it.
just think about what you're learning today on Amazon. It will carry you into your other future endeavors or business, because some of the skills that we teach you, copywriting, looking at design, researching competitors, you're going to be doing that in any business anyway. You don't just open up a business and start selling stuff, right? You can be like, okay, I want to open up a boba tea shop. Okay, there's 5 of them right there. That's not a great idea to open it there. It's just competition. So you use the same strategy that you learn here to apply to another business, and the same marketing strategy will apply to that physical store business as well. So hopefully that helped answer your question, Daniel. So go into the niches, man. That's where the money's at.
Thank you very much.
Cool. All right, so we'll drop off. We'll take off on the call. So I appreciate everybody joining the call today. And usually our call is on Thursday now. So if anything changes, we'll let you guys know. And make sure next time when you guys are getting on the call, if you have any questions, just write them down while you guys are working, and then you can just ask right away. And that way, we don't have this question randomly waiting for us, and then you're like, oh shoot, we forgot. So just write down questions. Anything that you don't know, just write it down, and then when these calls show up on Thursday, we can answer it for you. We'll be here to help. So that's our responsibility. Our goal is to help every single person in here become successful, developing their skills, their mindset, mainly their mindset first, and then their skills, and then, you know, hopefully their future as well. So. Okay. Justin said he's gonna take a selfie. All right. Let's take a selfie, guys. Ready? All right, 1, 2, 3. We're gonna smile.
All right, 1 second, we have a couple more. Susan, iPhone, Jonathan, England. Let's turn on the camera and let's smile.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Say hello. Hey, Mzee Sifu. I don't know. You took a picture, but anyway.
All right, thank you guys. Have a
Hey,
wonderful.
you guys have a wonderful night.
You
Justin and
too.
I
Thank you,
are here to
everybody.
help you guys. You guys have a good night.
Appreciate it.
Have a night. Bye, guys.
Mhm.